Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar about the AM 2019 SCORP preparations. I'm Idil, your SCORP director, and together, here today, I'm with some of our members from the AM 2019 sessions team. So the members who are here, they can just briefly introduce themselves, and then I will go on with introducing the members who aren't here now today. So we can just start with Guillermo. He's our RA for Americas. Guillermo, would you like to say hi?
Hello. How
No?
are you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to see you all soon in a couple of days in Taiwan. Very excited for these sessions.
Thank you. And then we have our session team member from Czech Republic. Jirka, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Ilka. I'm really excited to see you in a couple of days in Taiwan. So we'll have a great time.
And then we have our general assistant, Mahmoud.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you here through this webinar, and can't wait to see you in a week or so in Taiwan.
So far, you all three of you said the exact same thing, so that's why I'm laughing. So sorry. But yeah, the message is same. We are all looking forward to see you. But in case anyone also has a different message to add up, Paula, no pressure, but would you like to introduce yourself and say a few things for our viewers?
Oh, yes. So my name is Ana Paula, but you all can call me Pau. I'm Ecuador, very, very far away from Taiwan. But I'm so excited to meet you all. This is my first GA, and I know that it's the first GA for the most of you. So I'm really glad to meet you all in Taiwan, and I hope you enjoy your sessions because we have been working so hard to do this for you.
Thank you. Okay, Anouk is proudly nodding. I hope it was just to the speech that Paula gave. Anouk, would you like to go next?
Hi everyone, I'm Anouk. I'm the SCORP development assistant, and just as everyone else, I'm really looking forward to this meeting. I'm looking forward to the SCORP sessions. As Ana Paula said, the sessions team have been working really hard on it. But more importantly, I'm looking forward to meet you all. August meeting is a great opportunity to get inspired and get motivated, gain a lot of new knowledge, but most of all, gain a lot of inspiration. So see you there.
Thank you. Maha, would you like to continue?
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Maha. I'm your SCORP Regional Assistant for Asia Pacific. Like everyone, I'm looking forward to meet you all in Taiwan. As Paula already said, we are preparing hard for your sessions. I hope you all are looking forward to your amazing experience in the GA. It would be a lot of fun, and we cannot wait to meet you. See you in Taiwan.
Thank you. And Kinsey, would you like to go on?
Hi everyone, my name is Kinsey. I'm the co-regional assistant for Europe alongside Maria, which is my partner. She's unfortunately not here today. I'm actually really looking forward to the AM because we get to learn more about the new global priorities, which I think are really interesting and current. We get to also go into sessions that we haven't really discussed much about. And most of all, I am looking forward to meeting each one of you to have interesting discussions, learn new things from each other, and have fun and make new friends. That's what GA is all about. So yeah, I'm really looking forward.
Thank you. So I'm just going to go on with, so this is a webinar in order to prepare you about just the general experience that you will get from AM, but also especially the SCORP sessions. So what we're going to do, we already have our survival kit, which we shared through the server and through our participants Facebook group today. So I'm just going to share that, go over that with you together and explain what you should expect from each segment. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. Oh yeah. Okay, so now you're seeing my screen. Okay, so this is our survival kit, which you can access, like I said, from our server and our Facebook group. And here's this beautiful image of Taipei, which we are going, where we are going. And yeah, you just met our sessions team, like some members of it, and some members are not here in the webinar with us, but I'm just going to go over who they are briefly. First of all, we have Hiba, who is our liaison officer for human rights and peace, and she will be us during our sessions, and she has 2 very exciting sessions for you, which we will elaborate further. And Paula, she just introduced herself, so I'm just going to move on. Sorry. Okay, so we have Yoshita, and she's from MSI India, and she is one of our long-term passionate scorpions, and it's her 2nd time in the sessions team this time, so we are really happy to have her, and she's also preparing amazing sessions for you. And then we have Amin, and Amin is also a brilliant soul on his own, and he is managing our social media promotion together with Mahmoud, and he's also preparing very nice initiatives for you to enjoy in the GA. And Yirka, he introduced himself, and he's very much looking forward to see you, as he said, and he's also preparing amazing sessions, which you will get to, which we will get to tackle very interesting topics. And we already met Mahmoud. He is also very excited to see you, just like Yirka. And Anouk is our development assistant. She also introduced herself. Hafsa is our regional assistant for Africa. Unfortunately, she won't be physically present during the GA due to academical reasons. However, she is also like preparing and working for her members from the regions regarding what we will do in our regional sessions. So also stay tuned for that. And Guillermo and Maha, and as they are here today with us, they already introduced themselves. And Maria, as Kinsey stated, Maria and Kinsey, they are co-regional assistants for Europe. Maria is from Germany, and she's not with us today, but she will be present in the GA, and she's also preparing very amazing sessions for you. And together with Kinsey, together they will be facilitating the regional session for Europe. And for the first part of the survival kit, you can find this general introduction to SCORP and IFMSA, which is something that we always have in order for you to refresh your memory regarding the history of IFMSA and the history of SCORP, which is actually sort of important because it actually expresses the reasoning and the principle that we have when it comes to advocating for human rights, and how we evolved from being the Standing Committee on Refugees to the Standing Committee on Human Refugees and Peace, and then Human Rights and Peace. And after this part, we have the AM agenda. So this is what we have in our survival kit. It's not just about what will happen in this gray cells, the green cells that you see. It's not just about what will happen during the official times of the SCORP sessions. The GA is a full experience for you, and we would like you to actually participate actively in almost every platform that you can, because for us, what we discuss within our session time, it's meaningful when you actually implement it all throughout the projects that you do, but all throughout the experiences that you have. So it's really important that you, as people who would like to capacitate yourselves in human rights, you take active role in the actual leadership of our federation, which is the best platform you can do is the GA itself, because it is the highest decision-making body of our federation. So what we have here is we have the IFMSA Global Priorities events. So this is something new that we had this year. We also had it at and this will be the second time we have it. And this global priorities is that, we already have our global priorities, and this will be side events based on that. So we have several, and just because you are SCORP sessions participants, it doesn't mean that you can only attend the SCORP global priority event. You can attend whichever you want, as long as you make sure your participation is meaningful. So we have several events that you can read about, but I'm just going to save the time, I'm just going to mention the one that SCORP is organizing or taking part. So the first one is something that we are organizing on our own, is that it's about our priority, humanitarian action, and is that action humanitarian, human rights violations within humanitarian settings by unexpected perpetrators. So here we will discuss what are the human rights violations in humanitarian settings, and who could be perpetrate them, even from the very community that are being that are experiencing the humanitarian issue, to the actual people who go there in order to provide aid, who can actually contribute to these human rights violations and how. So it will be an interactive presentation / discussion and debate session, and we're looking forward to have you. And then we will have the Survive Universal Health Coverage Simulation together with SCOF and SCOPI. So what we also had a version of this in March meeting, and based on the feedback and improvements we made from that moment, we're going to implement the second version of it. And this data that we receive from this event will actually be presented afterwards. So this will also be actually something really interesting, and it is a simulation activity. So I don't know if you're familiar, but in SCORP we have the road to safety, like our refugee simulation, where we sort of have these pathways to make the participants understand the measures that asylum seekers, or the paths that asylum seekers need to take, and the things that they face when they arrive to a country. So it's basically inspired by the same idea, but the topic is universal health coverage. So, and we also have IFMSA Fringe. So this will be like a talent exhibition in that sense, but it's more like a creative space for you to express yourselves. So I'm not sure when does the submissions end, or if they already ended. If they did, I really hope you submitted I really hope you will participate, but if not, it will be just amazing for you to watch, because it is something really amazing. And then what else? We will have our EB debates, we will have our exchanges fair, we will have our joint sessions with many others of our standing committees, and they will also have very interesting topics, and you will learn more about those. We have our NMO hours, NFTPs, TO NMO buddy groups, and opening and closing ceremonies. So make sure you bring your fancy outfits. And the plenaries. And the plenaries are the places where the high-level decisions are made. So make sure, if it's your first time, or if you're a more standing committee-oriented person, this may seem a bit uninteresting for you. But like we said, for us, it is really important that you implement what you learn within the session time outside of the session time too. So it's really important that you stand up and advocate for human rights everywhere. It's important that you ensure a human rights-based approach, or provide that human rights perspective in every setting. So please make sure to also participate in this. And you will have your regional sessions, which you will get to read more about. In the regional sessions, you will also have your own time for SCORP. You will have standing committee sessions, obviously, and social program and training sessions. So just for SCORP sessions and activities. So this is our agenda. We just made a slight change where we put these two parallel sessions to the end. So it will be these two sessions and then the break and then the parallels. But other than that, the agenda is the same. This time we will all use one session room, which will be divided. So you won't. So through the parallels, we won't have the issue of going to another session room or finding rooms or stuff like that. So you will also get to decide which session to pick to the while the rooms are still being divided. And through the break times, you will get to actually engage with your buddy groups and do energizers and talk to people and write your envelopes and stuff like that. So that's why we wanted to ensure we included the breaks in our agenda this time. So I'm just going to go over the agenda. And the first day we have welcome to SCORP sessions, which we will introduce every concept to you, set our ground rules, and make sure you're divided into your buddy groups and like you write your envelopes and stuff like that. And then we will have our very cool session, Human Rights, Who Will Get It Right, which will be actually we have a facilitator here. So would you like to elaborate for like 30 seconds and share what you will do in this session? Because this will be a very short but very fun session.
Are you referring to me?
Yeah, we don't have any other. Yeah.
Who will get it right is we're gonna be covering human rights 101, but in a fun and interactive way. We're gonna have buddy groups in the GA, and we want a friendly competition throughout the whole 5 days. So we'll be splitting things into groups, and we're gonna have a Kahoot. We're gonna use Kahoot, and we'll have questions based on that. We're gonna talk about the generation of human rights, history of human rights, and what human rights are, and specific articles within the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So it's going to be like a fun, friendly competition between the session team members and also those of you who are attending the session. So that's the aim of this.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm actually very looking forward to it. And then we have human rights for everyone, the universality of the Universal Declaration. Anoop, would you like to give some input about this session and what should participants expect?
Yeah, sure. So this session is, as the title explains, we're going to discuss are human rights indeed for everyone, and we'll take a closer look at the universality of the Universal Declaration. So when we talk about human rights, we often talk about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and within the name of the declaration, we assume that all these rights in this declaration are universal. However, there are also some people who share another perspective on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and we'll go into depth into these theories and these perspectives, and we'll try to see if we maybe can have a critical view on the human rights. So we'll talk about the concept of universalism versus other perspectives, such as cultural relativism, for example. But if you're interested, you should come to the session.
Thank you. And then we will have Children, Health and Rights, which will be an external focused session. So this session is coordinated by our LRP, like Hiba, and it will give you the perspective of the external work that we do. And then we have migration. Where are we now? And I can update you on this. Yoshita is our coordinator for the session, and this session will be mostly like as an update on what you should know when it comes to migration and the rights of refugees, like what is happening all over the world, and give you a critical approach on what rights are at stake and when it comes to different types of movements that we're talking about. So this session is to make you more aware of the things that we should be aware, but also to give you like the critical perspective, in the sense that how migration, but also like asylum seeking and all sorts of movements are sort of like interrelated when it comes to protecting the rights of refugees and migrants. And then we will have our SCORP IT updates, which we will update you basically. So this won't be like every IT member goes up and presents something sort of thing. We will just like give you updates about the important advancements we made in SCORP. And this will be like a short fun session. And on day 2, so we will have our small working groups in the morning. So this is also really nice. We will have our small working groups together with other standing committees. We have one with SCOF, which is about mental health of youth NGO work volunteers, which we believe that it's a very important issue to tackle, especially because we are youth NGO volunteers. And we just wanted to provide a space for you to just like see, just like have this discussion on how we can improve our state situation. And then we will have one on designing inclusive social programs together with Scopi and Scori. And I believe, okay, Paula is here. If you want to elaborate, Paula, you can elaborate a bit on that small working group.
Okay, this small working group is very important because, as you know, one big part of IFMSA is exchanges. So we, as a human rights view, will work with Scopy and Scori to make social programs inclusive, because we have to learn how to respect human rights of the people coming, how to respect their cultures, and how to make fun programs that don't involve alcohol or any dangerous experience to the people are coming to our countries. So this is like the global view of the small working group.
Thank you. And then we will have our small working group on inclusive medical curriculum. So as some of you may know, we have we have this initiative with SCOMI and SCORA throughout this year. We did this survey about assessing how inclusive our medical curriculums are, and we conducted this survey, and this small working group will be sort of like a follow-up discussion on that, and Maria will be there with you in order to coordinate together with SCOMI. So yeah, and that's that. And other than that, we will have our small working groups in SCORP. So we will have 2 small working groups. One of them is about SCORP strategy, and one of them is about inter-regional collaborations. So Anouk and Kinsey, if you just want to give very brief updates on what people should expect, you can.
So this session is gonna be this. So one of the discussions we had this year is how we can get more of the region to collaborate with each other regarding some topics that are same for us, but we haven't really had the opportunity to work on. Whether it's an international campaign, whether it's cross-regional campaigns, and the GA is the perfect place to have this discussion, because there will be participants from every region to actually find common grounds and common topics that we can work on for the upcoming term. So I'm really excited, because I think certain subjects or certain topics you work more in a region than another, and often they correlate without other regions being aware of this. So I think it'll be a very productive and cool session. I mean, cool, a small working group to have.
Yes, thank you. And the other summer group is going to be about the SCORP strategic plan. As you might know or not know, SCORP has a strategic plan that runs from 2016 to 2019. And this August meeting will be voting on the new strategic plan, or actually we are amending the current strategic plan to run for 2 more extra years until IFMSA adopts its own new strategy. So this August meeting in SCORP sessions will be voting upon the new strategic plan. And I wanted to use this small working time to, first of all, discuss the strategic plan itself, but also discuss with you how should we monitor the strategic plan, how should we gather feedback from from members on the progress of the strategic plan, and what kind of indicators should we use. So if you have any good ideas or ideas of how you would want to give your input on the progress of the strategic plan in the future, you should come to the session.
Thank you. And then we will have our SCORP fair, which is, I think, like the most fun part of I think every meeting, because it just shows you when you just gather everyone together and give them the platform to share the work and the passion that they have, this amazing synergy and like this magical environment just occurs. So Mahmoud will just like brief you about it and what you should expect from this experience if it's your first time, and what you should do if you want to all the other Scorpions from all over the world to know about your work.
Okay, thank you, Idil. So first of all, for the activity presenters, we have opened the call 10 days ago. All you need to do is to submit your activities to the activities form, which is shared through the SCORP general group and also through the SCORP sessions group, AM sessions group. If any of the activities you are presenting are already submitted, please update them. Yeah, you have to submit them again and update them. Choose the update option. You have until the 28th of July to submit your activities in order to be considered for the fair. In addition to being a requirement for the fair, of course, submitting activities is also a requirement to maintain your SCORP active status, which maybe Idil can also brief you on this later on. For the participants, what should you expect from the activities fair is new ideas. You should expect to see creativity. You should expect to see the hard work of our members from all over the world. What type of activities they organize, what sort of impact they have, and what sort of issues they also address in their NMOs.
Thank you. So moving on. And then we are having this cool session, Democracy, Human Rights, and Rule of Law. And this is actually a new global priority that we are proposing as SCORP. So we just wanted to have this session. As you may be realizing, like slowly, we are actually shifting to this direction SCORP where we want to take more action and have more impact. So we are analyzing a lot about the structural, political, and the democratic aspects of human rights. So how is it actually related to the actual politics that impact our everyday lives? So this will be like this first session in this stream in that sense. And it will introduce these basic concepts and about like politics, democracy, justice systems, and how like governments and authorities should be accountable. I believe, Jirka, you're involved in this session.
Yes, that is correct.
Yes. Would you like to give like a very short update?
I think that Idil told most of it, but as the name suggests, we will be talking about democracy, rule of law, and human rights, and how it all comes together, how it all relates to each other, and why is it important to uphold these values in regard to human rights.
Thank you. And then we will have our SCORP voting discussion. So this was like the same as it was in MM. We're going to have this. So this won't be too long of a session. So it is really important that you read the materials beforehand. We don't have much that we submit. I believe there's only the submission for a slight change of GoScorp regulations. Other than that, it's all about the strategy annex. So it is a very easy document for you to read and understand what has been added. So I highly recommend you to do this because we won't have too much of time. And unfortunately, I forgot to add a hyperlink here. and if I did, you would be able to access the documents. But it's okay. Like I actually shared the documents with you on the SCORP server, so you can also access it there. So yeah, so please make sure to like read them through and ask us if you have any questions about them. And then we have a new era of human rights, social media and popular culture. And Paula, would you like to explain a bit of this session?
Yeah, so as we know, social media is one of the top three of powerful tools we have used in our century. So thanks to this, we have thinking about doing a session about social media and popular culture. In this session, we will talk about our introduction to human rights and advocacy through social media, provide information regarding human rights contribution and issues, talking about censorship and improprieties and false information, and also a thing that is called pop justice that involves the people that are famous or the influencers on the social media to do some change and do advocacy for human rights. And that's it.
Thank you. And then we have political movements for human rights. Again, Jirka, I think you can provide some input regarding this.
Okay, so another political sessions, yay. So we will talk about whether or not is are human rights a political issue and how it should be approached from the governments, and we will focus a lot on different political movements and how they influence human rights for good or for the bad.
Thank you. So I'm actually really looking forward to this session in particular, because this will be, in some way, it will be like the migration session where you will get to learn about like the actual things that are happening and hopefully like the current things. But it's also excites me because of the topic itself. So, and then we will have our the second external session, like healthcare in danger, given with the external perspective. Again, Hiba is coordinating it. This falls under our humanitarian action priority. So it will be very interesting for you to join and just like see. It is a full group session, so you won't be able to like, you won't need to divide or anything, and you'll get to fully participate. And then we will have our SCORP director and LRP candidate debates. So this is again like actually a very short debate in this sense, because I mean, I think if you put people to debate, they can debate for hours. But the point is to just give you members the chance to ask your questions beforehand. And we will try to have this debate chaired by a third party who are objective, and we're also going to let you know about how you can submit your questions. Hopefully, like so far, it looks like all of our candidates will be physically present in the GAs, unless like something wrong happens. So I'm very much looking forward to see this debate. On day 4, we don't seem to have any SCORP sessions. I obviously knew that, like I just didn't learn it from the survival kit. It sounded like I was surprised, but no. But we actually have some cool stuff for you. Again, we have the global priority side events on day 4. And also, like the most exciting part maybe for you in the GA is the plenary on day 4 will be the plenary where we will elect the next SCORP director and the next LRP together with all the team of official members. So yeah, day 4 will be an interesting day. So on day 5, we will have our SCORP plenary in the morning. And this will be the place where we vote everything. Again, it's really important you came prepared to the GA, so we are done discussing everything in the discussions, and through the GA, if there are any amendments, we can discuss over them. And on day 5, we have a smooth plenary, because on parallel, we will have human rights ground rounds with Guillermo is coordinating, but he's not with us right now. which will be parallel to it. And then we will have the future of SCORP. It will be updates from the SCORP strategy and everything that should wait for you from the future. And then we will have this very cool session. So this is also a full group session. And normally when we have a session about building activities, we do it like a basic session. But here we wanted to do a full group session in order to maximize the exchange of experience. So actually Mahmoud and Ana Paula is facilitating this. So Peeps, would you like to give some insight on what participants should expect from this session?
Yes. Well, this session, since we are having the SCORP fair on the second day, we want you to end the GA with with a memory of the activities we had. So this session will be kind of complementary to the SCORP fair. After seeing so many ideas, after seeing so many initiatives, what can you do to do similar initiatives, or at least initiate new ideas that you have in mind? How could you put your ideas into practice depending on your conditions in your own regions, and depending on your needs, and how should we address the challenges we face through our way? What channels should we use to affect or to make a bigger impact? I don't know if Paula wants to add anything.
Yes, this session is very important because we are concentrating on the activity design, the different types of activities, and how to respect human rights while we're doing some of these activities. So we hope that we all can learn from what we are doing and what SCORP generally is doing in every part of the world. So that's it.
Thank you. We just started the call for prayer. Okay. So then we will have our see you later session. And this will be the last session of the GA. And we actually wanted to allocate, I think we're allocating it at least like a full hour for this, because we really believe, like through this GA, what we really hope is that you actually get to engage with each other and have discussions. That's why we have less parallels compared to our previous GA. And this was one of the reasons. And I think this one last wrap-up session is very important for everyone who was engaged to have their closure with each other, and also just like a quick round with the body groups, and writing notes to the envelopes and recapping the week together. So again, this will be another goodbye but see you later session, but I'm hoping it will be very meaningful in that sense. Okay, I'm just going to go over like the regional sessions. So in the survival kit, you will also get to read about what will expect you in the regional sessions. No, this is not right. Okay, this is a publication error. It's not fun times outside of the sessions. But for the Eastern Mediterranean region, so we won't have a RA for the Eastern Mediterranean region present or not present or at all regarding in this process. So I will be personally coordinating this session together with the NORPs of the Eastern Mediterranean region. And in the Eastern Mediterranean regional session for SCORP, we will do SCORP IT updates just concerning the region. And it won't be just like from one side, it will be like a two-side discussion so that everyone will be able to present their own updates as NMOs. And we will create solutions on increasing the engagement and involvement of the region to the international work of SCORP, and draft solutions for the next regional assistant to implement. So this will be a very constructive session that will directly address the needs in that sense. Other than that, for regional sessions, for Asia Pacific, is Maha here right now? Yes. Maha, would you like to give a very short summary? Maha, are you here?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes, we can hear you now. But your mic looks muted again, so unmute yourself, please.
So about the Asia Pacific regional session we are going to talk about extremism and hate speech for because like we have had experiences in Asia Pacific about be like targeted to the indigenous groups and related to the hate and terrorism and stuff. So we will constructed our sessions in such a way that we will not only learn from the participants about their countries, we will also talk about the what we call the saddest and the dark truths of the societies, and we will be able at the end of the sessions we are thinking, still me and my co-facilitator for the Asia Pacific regional session, we are thinking to create or maybe come out with the SWG, because people at the end, the participants really want that if they have some kind of ideas or if they have something in mind, they want to actually implement it. So we would just continue the thoughts and ideas of what we will do in this session in the work of a group that will later on carry and just in any way that will be we can just serve the cause.
Thank you. And America, so Guillermo isn't here, so I'll just like briefly read it through. Like this is such an important issue, and this is something I really appreciate about Guillermo. It's about the way that he's able to tackle very recent human rights issues of his region. So it's like the challenges of stability of the region and the preservation of democracy. So this, as you can see, this is also very aligned with our global vision. So you will basically discuss through the sort of like the history of these issues within the region and the implementation of the SDGs in order to serve human rights and democracy. And I'm sure that it will be a very fruitful and constructive session. And for Europe, Kinsey, would you like to give us a short summary?
Yes, so me and Maria are very unconventional in the way that we find the GAs and the regional sessions a really perfect place to discuss current issues we have in the related to SCORP in Europe. We will be discussing, for example, NORP weekend, how we can maybe make a regulation improve that. We're going to also discuss other issues or things our NORPs want to take up and discuss. And we always aim to improve and really discuss things and have transparency and really dedicate part of the session to talking to each other because that's the only way we can really improve things. And it's amazing to see all the suggestions and ideas, and also how exciting and how helpful people are. They really take the initiative to do things and during this session and after the session. But we will also during this session go into things that are very specific to our regions, and also like you can witness this debates in other regions as well. Currently in Europe, we're having debates regarding the children's rights of mothers who are formally associated with terrorist groups. Some countries are taking the children out, some are not, and relating to human rights. We're also going to be discussing abortion. It's been a lot of discussion about this. So I think we're going to have a really interesting and cool session. I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you. And we have Africa. So the topic of the African region session will be human rights advocacy, and it will be about so what is like the process of advocacy and how can you actually conduct this advocacy through SCORP activities and projects. So it will be both as like a collaboration session and a capacity building session for the members of African region. And currently this is not settled yet, but it looks like I will be also be there for the members of the African region so that we can have the session together. And lastly, we have EMR, which I also which I explained already. What else you should expect? So, and this unfortunate publication error kind of makes this interesting, but actually, so we have also fun times outside of the session, and we have the human rights hunt, which Amin will coordinate, like which Amin came up with the idea, and it will be about it will be basically a hunt through that will last throughout the GA, and you will be competing together with your teams slash buddy groups in order to win. So I don't want to spoil the surprise too much. And then you will have the SCORP dinner slash lunch, which is like the best thing to do in Taiwan, because we all know about amazing Taiwanese food and we're all looking forward to it. So we will also gather to dinners and lunch and just like engage there. And then we will try to have some sort of a green party, which we always somehow end up not being able to have. But we will see, and either way, either it will be our own party or we will show this that SCORP is present in one of the amazing socials that will be prepared. So yeah, but just stay tuned for this.
Can I comment?
Yeah.
So for the hunt, because on the first session, we're going to be starting with the body group. Our plan is to continue this theme throughout the days. So the hunt will be incorporated into the body groups. You can collect points throughout the whole sessions. And then there'll be a one body group who will win, hopefully at the end, and will get a gift from us. So no pressure to my body group at all. And also for the dinner party, or like the SCORP dinner, one of the reasons why we had it is because this is something we had in your regime, and it kind of happened spontaneous, where we were like, we got this really big hall and we were like, let's just make a SCORP session, and it just ended up being tables with SCORP people. And we kind of felt like the cool group, I would say, but it was really special in the way that, you know, for example, like your regime is not as big as the GA, but it sometimes can be so hectic that you don't really get the time to really talk to everyone and just actually speak with them and just like. And during this dinner party, we got to speak with participants that we really didn't have the opportunity to. And it was really nice because you got to know them more on a personal level. And it captured the SCORP spirit, I would say. So therefore, it's a cool thing to do. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, I think it will be really nice, and it's just something that you ask yourself, why not? We have like all the things to make it possible, so why not just like do it? I remember my first SCORP dinner was in MM17, and it just like, it's one thing to participate in a session with people, but it's also another thing to just like sit down and share that moment. So we're going to try to make sure that moments are pretty much available throughout the GA. So I'm just going to also give you some info about the joint sessions, which you will learn more about in the upcoming days. But we are actually, like, we have a lot of interesting joint sessions that are expecting you. And we not somehow, we got very inspired, and we ended up in pretty much a lot of joint sessions. So you will have many options. Not that you can't join a joint session with SCORP isn't present, but if you're just interested in SCORP, you will still have a lot of options. First, we will have universal health coverage with the focus of children health and rights. So that will be a very interesting session, and we will actually discuss the current health issues and children rights within their healthcare that we hear a lot about throughout the news and stuff like that. And then we will have our sexual and reproductive health and rights in refugees and migrants. So it will be a joint session with SCORA, and this was actually something that we have in our annual working plan. So this was something that this was an area we were looking forward to collaborate. So it will give you a rather marginalized set of human rights in a rather not rather like very marginalized group of humans. So it will be a very interesting intersection of rights and populations that we will get to tackle. And then we will have our joint session with SCORI about the ethical aspects of research and innovation. And then we will have another joint session with SCOPI, where it will be again about ethics, but this time it will be about ethical situations in different cultural settings. So yeah, I really hope I did not miss any of the joint sessions, but I'm pretty sure I will remember another one once we finish this live stream. But oh well, you will learn about them anyways, so it will be fine. Just before we wrap up with the survival kit or the webinar, okay, I just want to very shortly go over the important documents and platforms. So again, in the survival kit, there's this section which you can check the current SCORP strategic plan, the SCORP regulations. You can check the Scorpions folder. So this is a drive folder where we literally have every material we can have for SCORP, and we are trying to like update it and add new things anytime that we can. But for example, you can reach out to workshop reports, and by reports I don't mean any boring documents. You can actually read through what happens in exactly in workshops. You can find materials from regional meetings and past GAs, so you can find everything you want. And we have our SCORP activities database where you will get to you can get to see many activities that are done by NMOs all around the world. I believe currently, like Mahmoud, how many activities do we have?
We have crossed the 400 mark, and we are approaching the 500 very rapidly.
Okay, so almost 500 activities that you can read through, all SCORP activities that are actually, I think they are done like within this past 4 or 5 years. So they are not like activities from 1950s, or these are actually very recent and applicable activities. So please do check. And then we have our SCORP events guide. So this is just like a Google map where you can see the SCORP related sub-regional trainings that are happening. So also check that out. We have SCORP Insights, the SCORP newsletters, which is the publication that we have once in every 3 months. Mahmoud edits it, and he does an extraordinary job every time. So please also check that out to stay updated about what's happening in SCORP. And if you have like any ideas on how we can make it better, or how we can give more platform for members' visibility, please reach us out. And we have our campaigns. Again, if you have any questions about campaigns and any materials that you need, any reports that you want to see, also reach us out, because we are very proud of our campaigns, and we will also have campaigns. Even though we are very near the end of the term, we will actually have very exciting campaigns upcoming. And then you can read more about our workshops, TNHRT, ITDM, and HRMP. And HRMP is our new, it's not new, it's actually one of our cult workshops, but it is very newly regulated. And we are just like slowly started to have it implemented within NMOs. So we're also very excited about that. We have GoScorp. We just concluded GoScorp Ghana and Panama, and the upcoming we will have them in India, Rwanda, and Jordan. So also stay tuned to see what's happened there. So because these are all amazing events. And for SCORP Camp, we have right now we have less than a month till SCORP Camp, and we're very excited about it. This time it will be in Turkey, and the OC is working really hard with their last call of applicants and just like wrapping everything up. And the workshops are and the team events are slowly starting to turn out. So I'm personally very excited, and we will try to make it as at least the team event as accessible as we can to every member. So yeah, stay tuned for that too. And you know about our global priorities, and we have our IFMSA programs. So I know that for some of you, enrollment to IFMSA programs can be tricky or often viewed as hard to do. But please at least submit your activities to the SCORP IT through like the forms that we provide, and like mark that if you need assistance regarding program enrollment, and we can actually, because what this is what we do, we actually contact program coordinators. Well, it's sort of easy because we don't have too many SCORP related ones, but we contact them regardless, and we provide them the information so they can reach out to you. And yeah, we have these programs. So just last important thing is that the IFMSA Code of Conduct. So we are human rights advocates and we build capacity in human rights. And it's actually, as SCORP, it's actually our official duty to promote human rights within IFMSA. So the Code of Conduct is very important for us because it is actually, so also in SGA, we're going to discuss a lot about the rule of law and human rights and their relationship, but that's why the code of conduct is actually very important for us. It is the rule of law within IFMSA that aims to protect the rights of every participant, and ensure that we have a safe space here. So please do, like, it will be provided to you by the OC. Please make sure that you read it very well, but it actually has very basic stuff about not harming others and not harming yourself, respecting other people's culture, not saying anything that will that targets an aspect of a person, or like that would offend a person, not speaking anything evil, not like being considerate about the rights of other people and the rights that you have. And please make sure that not just you but everyone follows this conduct and everyone respects the human rights within IFMSA. And if you feel like there has been a violation or breach, or if you just feel like you need to talk to someone, or if you're unsure of your own actions or anything, just reach out to the Code of Conduct Committee or us or anyone, and we will help you out. So that was that on my end.
Adil, can I add something on the Code of Conduct?
Yes.
So General Assemblies are places for us to gain knowledge, to have fun, to meet new people, but we should do this respectfully, respecting all the participants in this event and those non-participating. Upholding human rights is a collective effort, so it's not only one person in the federation that protects human rights. It's all of us that are held accountable for our actions, are held accountable for respecting the rights of others, and not taking actions that might endanger others or harm them in any certain way.
Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely. And also, I also want to highlight, just like in addition, IFMSA is a place that, of course, like compared to our societies, we do a lot of great stuff here in order to promote human rights and just like have this positive environment. But this does not mean that we are immune from what's going on in our societies. So we always have to be actually aware and conscious about our actions and the actions of other people, and how, and to analyze it with this human rights based perspective. So yeah, so make sure you study your rights well, make sure you learn your code of conduct, and make sure you promote this for yourself with true self-reflection, but also promote this among other participants. So that's it from our side. Thank you so much for joining us or watching this. If you will watch this at any point throughout, I know, our history, but especially like before the GA, it will be helpful, I think. And we are about to do it at exactly 1 hour, which is very good time management for us. So yeah, does anyone have anything that they would like to add? If not, we can just yeah.
We're having the love campaign, so I
Oh
would
yeah,
like to
yeah,
say some words about it. So we had this campaign, You Right Me, which we want to extend to the GA, and the idea comes from the fact that human rights and peace doesn't only stand for that, but it also stands for love and compassion. And we use the word very specifically because it's the opposite to hate, bigotry, discrimination, rise of extremism. And especially in the world we live in with so much happening at the moment, I think it's really important for us as youth and for us as a SCORP to take a stand and saying, actually, we're against this. There should be more love in the world, and it should be less hate. So we're gonna have the love campaign in the GA, which means we're all gonna like cut out heart-shaped like paper, and we're gonna put our message to the world, whatever that is, and then we're gonna stick it to like a white long paper, like a back frame, and we're gonna donate it to an organization that works with SCORP-related topics. And we're really excited about it. I think it's going to be really cool, and it's always nice and really interesting to see what people actually write, and some of the things really get to you. So yeah, I'm really excited about it, and I hope everyone comes and supports us and join and helps us have an active stand and stand for what we believe in, not only in SCORP but also in IFMSA, especially as youth and the voice of youth.
Thank you so much. Like, thank you so much for adding. I wasn't sure if like you wanted to declare it in the webinar, because it's actually, even though this is implemented in You Reach Me before, the implementation of AM, we got it confirmed like today, so it's also very recent for us. So yeah, we're also looking
Actually,
forward for that.
I was gonna say, interesting enough, we actually planned this campaign just before the Yaraj Me, independent of what's happening. And I remember this was the second day Yaraj Me, that was when the attack in Sri Lanka happened. And it was just like, wow, like we were not expecting that. And it actually showed us like really a lot is going on in the world at the moment, and it's really important to make a stand.
Yeah. And I think such campaigns that we do in meetings are like, for example, I was present uh, as for the campaign, and what we had in MM19, which was the outcome, sort of, not the outcome, but a step of the International Women's Day campaign that we did together with SCORA, and just like seeing that how it mobilizes members outside of the session time. But of course, like that was a very elaborate campaign that lasted. I think Mahmoud, how long you lasted? Like, I think it is just completed, or
Yes, it's for more than 4 months, together
yeah.
with the survey we had on gender and medical education.
Yeah. But like the messages, like we said, it's not about just what happens in the sessions time. It's about how we utilize all of our platforms and how we are able to be involved in every aspect of the GA. So that's why I'm also looking forward to this. And also, if you have any activity ideas, if you have any fun ideas that you would like to do outside of the session time that may contribute to what we already plan, or it may be something completely different, just like also tell us, so maybe we would also implement that, because at the end this is our experience together, and we should also construct it and actually experience it together. So yeah, that's all, and thank you so much, and looking forward to see you in 2 weeks. Bye.